I literally spent the entire afternoon trying to find this stupid ass portfolio I thought was in my bedroom, which is actually just not even in this house at all. It's actually in my parents' house and in my wardrobe at my parents' house. And I dig through all my stuff. And now I'm just looking around my room thinking, wow, the destruction, the chaos, the disruption, the chaos. For what?
Yeah, get into it!
You've read the title, you've read it already, you've read what I'm about to say. Every time I start my videos and start to do an intro, I think, wow, I've already wrote exactly what I'm going to do in the title of this video, and you've already clicked on it because you know what you're going to expect. You already know what is coming, and you already knew I was going to complain about my hair, so like, you already know two things. Now I'm going to tell you a third, and it is what the title says. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video with like a little hint of what I normally do. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be answering a lot of uni-based questions. I recently have just left uni, well I'm technically still at uni. All my lectures are online, and if you are my lecturer watching, then I have been attending every single one. I haven't just been going on and clicking yes on the register. And if you aren't my lecturer, I, since handing day, haven't actually attended any. I just go online and click yes to the register and then just go about my day, which normally consists of laying in bed and watching Netflix or Disney Plus. So today I'm going to be sitting here, I'm removing the badge of Otis Milburn and picking up the badge of someone really intelligent that went to uni that is not me. Let's go, baby. Ew, let's go, baby. Who the fuck says, let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I went and studied fashion photography at UAL. I am yet to find out my grade. Maybe I'll like open my grades on camera. That could be quite fun. I literally get my grades back in 10 days. And that's like my overall grade for the entire course, for the entire 3 years. Everything that I worked for and paid for at uni. That's like what I'm worth academically. So yeah, I basically went to an artsy-fartsy, fancy-ass uni for art students, for the creatives, darling, for the visionaries of the future in London, and I'm from Sheffield, and it was a big old pond and I'm a little old fish. I'm getting a lot of questions saying, is UAL worth it? Do you think the course at UAL is worth it? Is UAL worth the hype? I feel like this is such a tricky one. I feel like this is down to... This is where UAL see my video and they're like, D, fail. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck no, baby. I don't know if I think it's worth it. I really honestly don't. I feel like I dip in and out of, is it worth it? I'm paying all this money. Am I getting an experience out of it? I feel like, maybe this is just uni as a whole. Obviously, I can only talk from my experience in my uni and what, like, just me. But I feel like there could have been more. I'm gonna throw it out there. I feel like there could have been more.
Are you ready?
We're very much like going to a classroom, we tell you a bunch of information, we introduce you to certain people, we give you our facilities, you do and make of it what you please. And if you want to come into a studio every single day in your free time and shoot, then you come into a studio every single day in your free time and shoot. The studios are there, the cameras are there, the knowledge is there, the people to ask and the resources are all there. It's whether you want to utilise them or not. And for me, I had like 19 million other things going off. Don't know if that even answers your question, but I think UAL, it runs off its name a lot, but also it does give you industry connections and great contacts and resources that you pay for that you wouldn't really get anywhere else unless you were incredible and put yourself out there. Did you struggle to make friends? So when moving to uni, were a very like, I think I was confident, but I think I pretended to be confident when in actual fact I was shitting my pants. You are put from the get-go into situations where you're forced to make friends and not in the sort of like, hi everyone, I'm your teacher, these are your classmates, we're gonna go around the room and say one interesting fact about each other. Oh. Wow. And you're forced into situations, whether you're put into a class, that eventually you have to talk, whether it's like, oh, do you have a pen? Oh, do you know this? Do you know that? Blah, blah, blah. Wanna do this together? Oh my god, you're going out for lunch. Where are you going? Tesco's? Oh my god, I got a Tesco's too. BLT? Oh my god, ham and cheese, who'd have thought it? Sometimes I like the tuna, and actually the southern fried chicken wrap from Tesco's. Caesar salad, I feel you on that one. Let's go together. I don't know why I got so fucking involved with that. You end up just being put in situations where you have to talk to people, and that's just life. Like whether you then have a job, like I worked at Urban Outfitters and I met so many people there just because you're forced into an environment where you've got to work with people, you've got to talk to them, and naturally you connect with people if they are your people. And that's the same with uni. I lived in halls of residence, which is like just a student accommodation. I got a lot of questions like, what's halls? And it's just like accommodation for uni students. Like the only people that can live there are students that go to a specific uni. So I lived there with a bunch of people that went to my uni, and I met obviously Freya there, I met everyone that were living on my floor. I shared a floor with like 9 people, I believe, so we all shared one kitchen, and I definitely would recommend that. Actually, I know a lot of people are really turned off by the idea because there are some gross fucking people, and we were really blessed with the household that we got. Obviously, it's just by luck. You could be with some absolute party animals and you are not into that scene at all, and you're constantly having parties in your kitchen and you're like, fuck, I just want to go to the kitchen and get my snacks. And that would be my absolute worst nightmare. There are obviously things that you can do about that. You can request to move halls and stuff, and like that can be sorted. I do get it's not always an ideal situation. I think I was very lucky. And the rest of us, we had someone doing a master's, so she was like 26 or something, living on our floor, so we had like that dynamic. We had an Asian girl that we never saw. I'm not even just saying we never saw her, like we never saw her. She lived right next door to me and I never once heard a single word, nor did I see her in the kitchen making food. In fact, we saw her one time and I said hi to her and she just closed the door in my face, so that was kind of fun, kind of nice experience, not gonna lie, did like that one. We put a note under a door and said, hi, want to be friends, drew a little family portrait of everyone that lived in the flat, and she wrote back saying, suck my ass. You get some nice people, you really do meet just like the nicest warm bunch of people. But I definitely do recommend halls. I feel like it forces you to make friends and it teaches you a lot about what you like and what you don't like about living alone. Is it easy to hook up with people? I knew we were gonna get some of these. I honestly don't think I've ever hooked up with anyone in like the uni scene, like when it comes to freshers or like one night stands with people at uni, like anything like that. I feel like my group of friends just weren't involved in that. I think we went to probably 3 freshers events and they're on for like 2 months solidly. Every single night there's something on. Pussy! And they are, don't want to say they're really great, but like it is fun. But we weren't them bitches. If you watch my vlogs, I vlogged so much in first year. We would literally go down to the local Tesco's, buy a bunch of food, sit and watch a movie and drink tea. And that was our entire life. It's like no joke. I think because me and Haz both eventually, I say eventually, Haz started her channel like halfway through first year. Because we both eventually started doing YouTube, all our free time was just doing YouTube and working. So I feel like the party side of things just didn't interest us at all. I so wish looking back on it that I partied so much more. Like now I'm like over that stage of my life. I used to just hate drinking and that entire scene, and now I'm like and well, maybe not like that aggressively, maybe like let's go. I do really wish I experienced the whole like, this sounds fucking awful but I'm gonna say it anyway, the whole like going to a club and like kissing 5 million strangers and like sleeping with everyone in the fucking club and like doing all that stuff and staying out until the next morning and coming back and going to a lecture. Like fuck my actual life. But I kind of wish, in like a sensible, safe way of course, that I did that, because I feel like I've got no excuse to do that now. Show us your final project. Right, I'm going to talk about this now. So I am now going to go into my I'm nervous about this. I never really showed my work at uni because basically I realised really early on that I wasn't enjoying photography as much as I thought I would do. I think I was just enjoying everything outside of my life so much more. Uni just sort of for me felt like the only thing that I was like not 100% committed to and 100% happy with. For that matter, I don't like the outcomes of any of my work. I sort of was just working to get a grade and pass a brief, in all honesty. And I'm kind of like about my final major now. So basically I planned to do a documentary. Like I leaned so far away from imagery, and part of my course you could do moving image, which is obviously video, and that's what I do literally like 9 million times a day. This is like what I walk and breathe at this point. So I set out to do a documentary type thing on influencers and how influencers are sort of taking over digital media and are sort of taking the jobs of not necessarily advertisers, but the jobs of like magazine publications, and a lot of the fashion stuff is becoming very like influencer driven, in the sense of like where before a clothing company would go to like a magazine house and be like, right, we want you to dress people and shoot campaigns in these clothes, and that obviously still does happen, but it's very rare that people go into a shop and actually buy a printed magazine. Now brands, like I'm just going to use like ASOS for example, get a bunch of clothes, distribute it to a bunch of people online with online followings and say wear these clothes on your Instagram, and that's the way that they drive sales. I was just going to basically follow a bunch of influencers around to show people in industry. One, how to utilize social media and make something of it, and also show you that it's possible and show you that these young people and this like generation are becoming like entrepreneurs and business people from the literal bedrooms. So I'm gonna like follow Anna around and film a bunch of her business meetings and film all the behind the scenes of what Anna's doing. I spoke about obviously doing it with Haz. I was gonna film all my like stuff that I've got going off right now. I'm literally creating like one of the biggest projects of my entire career so far, and I was gonna document all that and just film like an overall like influencer based sort of educational entertainment.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same.
Informative documentary on how it all works, the ins and outs.
I wanted to do all that, but then COVID sort of came in and said,
fuck you bitch, and just ruined my entire plans. So I then just looked what everyone were doing, like I said, did more research, looked into what other people were doing, and I remembered Lil Michaela, and I remembered that this bitch is not real. Like, she is a virtual model. Thought, right, I'm probably not about to do this, but we're gonna research it a bit more, try and see how it's done, figure out how the fuck I can do something like this, because it would be so ideal to, one, create a virtual influencer that still fits with the influencer theme. I can still do editorials and do super high-end looking imagery with a virtual influencer, which works in my favour. It's new media, all that stuff that uni rave about and try and push. Checks all the boxes. It still fits to my theme, still fits to my everyday life. And I can do it all from my bedroom. I didn't need to leave the house. So I set out the fucking mammoth task of trying to figure out how to create these people.
She's a mammoth, of course.
It started off looking like the most basic ass sim looking thing in the entire world. Didn't know how to do hair, didn't know how to do clothes, and I can't really explain how I did it. And in my workbook I tried to explain how I did it, but I think I just did it by accident and it just worked. And I just pressed save and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what I've done, but I've done something and I'm just gonna save it. So I basically ended up creating a mini magazine called Influence. Or influencer. I don't know what the fuck I called it. Influence? As you can see by the logo, the flu in the word influence is like outlined to stand out, because this was my silver lining off the back of a global pandemic, of a global flu. I came up with what I believed at the time was a genius idea and a genius solution to this horrible mess. So I handed that in. I also handed in, we had to do like a personal body of work, which was like our own ideas and like what a project that we wanted to create for our final major, which was my influencer project. And then we also had to hand in a professional portfolio of work that is just all stuff from our entire lives, whatever we've taught, whether it's for uni or for not uni, just imagery or moving image, and just like stuff that you would show to like a client and like in a way that you would show it to a client. So if you want to click the link below, I made a website and you either had to submit 12 images. It was like 24 images before COVID, and that's one of the things they changed. They like lowered the amount you needed to submit. So it were either 12 images or 2 moving image projects that were like a minute each in like a portfolio. So I, being the little bitch I am, I created this, and this is what I submitted. So there was a submission point and I just submitted this PDF, and if you read the PDF it tells you to click there, and when you click the little hyperlink it takes you to a website, which I'm paying for because I was being extra. Didn't realise I had to pay for a website though, so now I'm paying for a domain and a website. Probably never going to use it again. And then obviously once the website loads, my portfolio begins to play. And this is what I take to a client. I just did it like, if I wanted to be a videographer or work in industry, in fashion or whatever, I would go to a client and be like, hi. I would obviously have more on it than just the 2 things. I'd have images on there as well, but obviously for my submission that's all I were allowed. So yeah, that alongside my influencer thing sort of made up my final major, and I submitted it, and now we wait for 10 more days and then I get my grade back. And on that note, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I know this video weren't really as entertainment based as my normal content. I do apologise for that. I don't know, I feel like I had a lot of questions that I needed to actually answer instead of like being like If you've got any more questions, let me know in the comments below. I literally reply to every single comment, so if you've got any questions that weren't answered, fuck, I need to burp, take to the comments. But on that note, I love you all lots, and I will chat to you very, very soon. Bye.
Boring.